Thank you, man. I mean, it's been a game changer.
The Joe Hippensteel Method.
My name is Jason Harnum. I know Joe Hippensteel because I read about him in Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. Cool. And I used to be a marathon and ultra runner, wrote centuries and all that shit. Long and short of it is I fractured my lower back, and I also have a neurological disease called adrenoleukodystrophy, which affects the white matter in the myelin sheath. It affects the signals. So the signals don't fire right. They don't fire consistently, and so it just weakens it, makes it harder to move, and so that's when, just running just didn't work. Because I'm unsteady on my feet, and it was just an odd, trying to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it was an odd fall, and I just cracked it perfectly on my back, and I fractured my L4, L5, and S1. When I did that, it became too difficult to get around in a walker, right? So then I went to a scooter. And then being in a scooter and just sitting 90 degrees, like 90% of the time, you have that anterior pelvic tilt where you're just always like this. So when I tried to get up, my left leg was fine where I could get up, but it's just, I do it with some help, but my right leg was just, my hip was just locked, like almost in a 90-degree position. I called him. I emailed him, said, I got two problems. I said, the neurological thing, don't know about that, and also my hip, and this is where my hip is locked. And then he replied back. He goes, I'm not sure about your first one, but I could fix your hip. So I lived in Arizona at the time, and I went out to San Diego. And I just got on the mat, and I guess a little bit before that, I saw a couple spine surgeon, ortho, a physiatrist, a couple of physical therapists, just gone on and on through that process, of just, my only option really was a back surgery where they put those little pins and all that stuff, right? And the doctor was concerned because I was like 48 at the time that, may help me get some relief, but then because I'm a little bit younger to have that type of operation, it could get worse. So I just thought I'd just deal with the pain. Well, anytime, the more I looked on message boards with people who've had back and neck surgery, there's a lot of outcomes just aren't good. They're just, it's just a delicate thing down there. It's not like, you fracture a hand, or I fractured my hip and they put a rod in there, a couple of screws, and away you go. With the back and neck especially, it could even be, more screwed up. I have a balance issue with the neurological thing, but to just get out with gas, I would literally have to take a walker and go 1 foot, my left foot, and then just barely touch my right because it would kick back too much. And then it was just an arduous process just to pump gas. And, just not being in so much damn pain and just have a little bit more range of motion, that's a win to me, right? And so I was talking to Joe, and then, so just working, it was just really, it's just almost too simple, man. It's almost just, too simple. We were up the back, I was laying back and I couldn't obviously put my leg down because it just hurt too bad, and it would pivot up, and the nerve would just fire, and it would just kick my leg. It was just ridiculous. So Joe was up there, holding my foot 2 feet above the thing, get to a 7 in pain, and then he would lift my foot up to give me some relaxation. And we did this for hours. I just did it for hours. And it was like, what the fuck, man? It was just relax, man. The guy helped Goggins. He should be able to help me, right? Just relax through it. And it relaxed a lot that day. And then, just the next day when I went home, I've never pumped gas. I've never gotten gas with a walker again. I don't even have a walker in my car. Just because now I'm not worried about it. It's I could go, and so, I have more to go, but maybe it's apathy of just not maybe doing a little bit more work, but it's definitely, it's gone from a pain level of 8 to 9 to 1 to 2. Thank you, man. I mean, it's been a game changer.